Hey, what is up, guys? The American Soldier, Piznik64 here. And the mission today is to talk about something that's going on in Oil City. And I haven't made an Oil City rant in a while. And I know all of you are all dying to hear about some more Oil City rants that I got. God. Yo, I'm going to leave the Thorns rant, and the fire station rant. I have two separate rants I'm going to do. This one is talking about the bench. Right here. The bench. A bench. That Oil City is your biggest complaint right now? Not not the economy going to shit, not the fire station. People, the fire station up in Bissell, my freaking fire station right up the street from me. That's not your biggest concern? About hundreds of people losing their jobs in Thorns, north and south side of Thorns being shut down? That's not your biggest concern right now. Your biggest concern is a bench. A bench. All right, for those of you non-Oil City people, or you're not very familiar with what's going on, there was a bench in town that had a lot of Christian related words on it. Okay? It was a religious thing. And atheists and agnostic people and non-Christians. There's mainly atheists. There was actually an atheist group. I'll put links in the description for you non-local people or people that aren't very familiar. I'll put some links down below, and y'all can probably get the story. I'm just telling you the general thing. Well, this bench has been here for like 13 years, apparently. 12, 13 years. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. But pretty sure it's been there for that long, somewhere around there. And these atheists said, hey, we don't like that. Let's take it down. And so it was taken down. Or there's still, now there's petitions to put it back on. Now, I'm going to tell you my personal opinion about it in a moment. But I'm just going to rant on both sides first. And I'll tell you which side I'm ultimately on. First, let's start with the Christian side. You're in an old white neighborhood. Yes, yes, you see my skin color. Yes. Now, why am I putting race into it? Because you got these typical older white Christians that are just... I've dealt with a lot of them. And don't even say, oh, what about black Christians? We're completely different. But these older people around here, they go. You see on Explore Venango, you see the people that support her. They're mostly older white people. And they're like, oh, fuck atheists. Oh, they're like, oh, they shouldn't have an opinion because they're atheists. They don't believe in God. I've seen more maturity from like 13, 14-year-olds than older white Christians around here. I mean, seriously. And half of them are probably racist. If you're not a non-white Christian. Probably Trump supporters. You could dislike this video just for me. I know a lot of people keep calling me racist on here. I'm not. I'm just speaking the truth. I'm speaking statistically. You can go on Explore Venango And I guarantee you about 90 to 95% of them are probably over the age of 35, are probably married, and probably have Confederate flags somewhere on their car or in their house. They have the flag. And I just think it's ridiculous that instead of, because you guys are retired, half of you are probably retired, you guys don't care about jobs, you don't need them. But the ones that aren't retired, that actually need the work, that's what you're more concerned about? Is a bunch of non-Christians? And let me ask you guys something. I'm Christian myself. I'm a Methodist. So don't act like I am not agnostic or an atheist agnostic. I'm not. I am a Christian just like you, but I'm going to call out your crap. Okay? So let's talk about something. You Christians, you people who support it. You guys bash ISIS. Now, I'm in the National Guard, as y'all probably know that. I mean, obviously I don't support ISIS. I hate ISIS. But I have very good friends who are Muslim, who are actually from that area where ISIS is at. Or they were like born, raised, and they're here. Some of them are in that general area. Okay? I know some of the nicest people are Muslims. But you guys, because they're not Christian, you guys bash them. But what do you call the KKK? They're literally the same type of people as ISIS. And they don't even say, oh, they're completely different. How? They're a hate group. They hate anyone that doesn't believe in their religion. They hate race. If you're not, from the Middle East, if you're not brown, like if you're white or if you're black, ISIS the same way as KKK. I mean, their beliefs are slightly different, but they had the same ideology. Okay? You get my drift? You guys that are supporting the bench? You get it? Now let's talk about the atheists. Now let's rant about them. You guys, just now, after 13 years, you guys just now get involved. Why? Why? Because of all this, gay rights, equality for everyone. Now you guys want to take advantage of this. Why couldn't you do this 13 years ago, and then this wouldn't be an issue now? Why didn't you go up to the people who made that and say, hey, not all of us believe in God. Not all of us believe this. Not shove this down our throat. Why did it take this long? I mean, seriously. And you guys, you atheists, do the same thing as Christians. You Christians shove religion down your throat, and then atheists, you guys shove anti-religion down Christians' throat. So what fundamentally, you guys are doing the same thing. Why? No, excuse me. So what do you guys want? What do you atheists want? Do you want a bench that just says nothing? Or do you want a message on it? Now, obviously, it took a while for this to happen. This wasn't just an overnight thing. These atheists didn't just come in and say, hey, we want this down. They're like, oh, okay. So obviously, the atheists must have got pissed off at something. So one of these probably 65 and up Christians probably said something to them and just angered them. So where they get revenge, they go down there, they probably said something. Knowing Oil City, it takes one little thing. Look what happened to Thorns. Look what happened to the fire department. It takes just one thing. Destroys everything. That's how Oil City works, apparently. Because I just don't understand why it took atheists this long. If they really didn't want it, why didn't they do this years ago? Why did it take this long? Because of the system now, like I just said about 30 seconds ago about Oil City, it takes just one word and you're gone. Thorns. Good example. I think both sides are just being ridiculous. And I've seen like 13, 14, 15-year-old teenagers act way more mature than this. They're fighting over Explore Venango over this. People are getting so heated on both sides, the atheist and non-atheist. And really the Christians are pissing me off a lot more. Because they're like, oh, they shouldn't be in this country because they don't believe in God. Are you serious? I've seen people that wear my uniform saying this. And I know who you are. Active duty or guard. I know who the hell you are. And shame on you if you're saying that. That they shouldn't be in this country because they don't believe in God. That's what freedom of religion, that's what we fight for. Yes, this situation's got me heated because I've seen the ridiculousness on both sides. And then I see these atheists that say, oh, you guys believe in God, y'all should go to hell for believing in God. I've seen this. I've seen atheists calling out Christians saying they should go to hell. Why? Why should they go to hell? I think both sides should go to hell. Honestly, it's over a bridge in a dying city that people probably don't even know exist or they don't even sit at. Why? Why does this matter? But you're going to go to the city council and talk about how you guys are 200-something thousand in debt and ain't doing shit about it. But y'all are more concerned about a bench. A bench! No wonder Oil City's dying. No wonder Oil City's been shit since 2002. Since Pennzoil, or Calumet, as you later, in the dying career, when Quaker State, when all these big companies were leaving. Joy, even, most recent. You guys are more concerned about that. Especially you 65 and up Christians seem to have more concern about that because you don't care about work. Because you've already worked. But for us young people that have to try to get out of, the people that are like ages 16 to 30, shame on you if this is what you're more concerned about. You should be more concerned about trying to get out of this town. Like me. I don't care about a bench. And honestly, if I had to choose, what I would do is be neutral. I'm neutral. What I would do, you know how people say Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas? Why don't you just do that? Why don't you just make a message on that same bench so you don't have to tear it down? Costs money to do that, doesn't it? This shit ain't free. I hope they know that. Just write something that's not offensive to the atheists and not offensive to the Christians. Isn't that simple? But no, you all want to just bash each other. Especially Christians that are just saying, oh, get out of this country, they should go to hell. And the atheists saying, oh, they should go to hell. Oh, hail Satan. Satan's our God. Like I said, I've seen people half my age. I'm 24. So I've seen 12, 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds, men and women, act more mature than this. Alright guys, I'm Physics64. That's my opinion about this shit. Alright, peace.